Hello, welcome back to my channel. Thanks everybody for stopping by. I hope everybody is doing really well. I want to go back to working on the cover for this spring collage journal that I'm working on. It's been sitting neglected for a while. My excuse was I was letting the glue dry, but after a week I'm pretty sure that the glue is very, very dry. So I have an idea of what I'd like to do. I'd been playing around with AI images even before this kit came out. And I had come up with this. I printed these 2 to a page, or this one. And I think those would look kind of fun on here. Hopefully not too dark, because this is really light and airy, and these are a bit, well, grungy, because that's how I roll. This might be a bit wide, but I think either one of these will work. And I'm thinking this one, this tall one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut, leave a bit of the lace, cut the pocket, and leave some of the background. And then what I want to do, I cut out some flowers out of magazine pages. And it gives you, if you do it, text and other text and interesting little, I probably won't use that one. That one's not my favorite, but I really like these with the text and a little bit of plain. That one's one of my favorites. This specific die, it's from this wildflower, the Sizzix 664163. Is that on? Yeah, that's on. And it's this one here, but these little pokey out bits, oh hey, they do come out. Sometimes the little bits of it don't come out properly, but it looks like it did. So probably use that one. I've got this one that's darker blue, or maybe lighter blue. That actually said spring along the top, but you can't tell that now. And then another one of those kind of slatey green ones. Another one of the little green ones. And a tall one of the green ones. This is what the page looked like to begin with. That and that. Like that. The only reason it's cut is it didn't fit in my die cut. I suppose I could have put it that way. That would have been smart. Didn't even think of that. So I have a whole bunch of these little flowers. And what I'm thinking is, probably won't use that one either. Not on this page. I will somewhere, but not here. And then not that one either. I think that one is probably too busy, but I'll keep it with the ones that I might use. And then these two are not Tim Holtz dies. They're ones that came from Amazon. There's a package of like 18 of these little flower dies for a fairly reasonable price. So I'm gonna fussy cut. Okay, I think that is gonna work. I left the little bit of lace that is on the bottom of that image, but I'm not actually going to leave it on there. I am, but I'm not. I'm going to use lace and cover the lace. I just haven't not sure what lace to use to cover it. Maybe like something like that, perhaps. Or wider. If I use that, then I would need to, yeah, something like that might work, but I'll get there. First of all, let's put some more flowers behind the flowers. Now, if you were going to do something like this and use a large image, you could do it as a journal topper so it had depth to it. I don't necessarily do that when I'm creating images that go on a journal cover. I just lay it out and it goes how it goes. I could also, I like how this green matches so well with the green from the kit. It has, like, looks like it belongs. Those might almost be too autumny. So I think I'm going to leave the orangey ones off. And stick with the blue and the green. Another thing, you've got a line here on the pocket. I've got a line here. Yeah. I keep saying that. There's a line here on the pocket, so what I can do is when I figure out if I want an image coming that way, to just trim it right where that pocket line would be and then glue it above it so that it looks like it's coming out of the pocket, even though it's not. And it would look like something like this with that little leaf. It would look really cool if I trimmed it here and then glued it and it looked like it was coming out of the pocket, but the leaf was over top. I might not use it there because look how close those two blues go. Perhaps one like that instead. My furnace came on, so I went and did some more fussy cut, or not fussy cutting, die cutting. Because like I really like that one flower, this one, but I didn't want it in blue on that side. So I found some green, and then I found that, which I think is from that same magazine. So I think I'm going to cut that out somehow and use it on there. Don't be afraid to use magazines. This magazine had lots of plain space, like backgrounds that were solid color in large amounts of, like just large amounts of solid color, which I think are really, really fun. They work really well for fussy cutting. I've in the past used Hello Fresh brochures and weird random things for die cutting. And that is such a pretty green. I might save that for collaging. might not work. That might not work. Because I don't want to cover up the pocket. And if I put it behind, like if I put tall flowers behind there, then you can't read the word. Well, maybe you can. I'd need something to cover that funny little corner of whatever that is, book or whatever it is. Sorry about my squeaky chair. All right, I think that might work. I also cut a lighter blue one, which could work in there. Oh, that would work. I like that. Yeah, I like that. And then I would cut it here. That works. And sprig. It's now a sprig. Spring is overrated, maybe? Well, not at all. A lot of us are really perhaps looking forward to spring. I'm okay with snow. I'm not a fan of winter, but I actually don't mind snow that much. It's been such a long time since I've had it. I kind of all right with snow. All right, I don't think that works. I like the idea, but not the... Oh, that looks all right. Sorry, I sometimes, like, when I'm creating, I forget to talk, because I'm like, I go into this kind of like zone, and forget what I'm doing. Or not that I forget what I'm doing, but I forget I'm filming. If you're creating collage like this, and you're like, that almost works, but not quite, don't be afraid to put, like, you've got this beautiful background with the collage elements. But don't be afraid to add more. Like maybe you look at that and you think that's a little, not boring, because it's not boring, but it doesn't quite work somehow. So you could come in with, I don't know, do I have any coffee dyed paper? No, I do not. But maybe you had like a little piece of like coffee dyed paper and you like wanted to pop that element out. You could add a little piece of paper here like that. And I like that. So I'm going to find a piece of coffee dyed paper. Thankfully, I know where they all are. Kind of would like graph paper. I think that would be kind of cool. I like how that turned out back there. Graph paper has a tendency to lose its graphiness when you coffee dye it, though. All the little lines come off. And it looks like I have lots of lined paper, but not a lot of graph paper. I have that piece, but it's got gel medium or something on it. Looks like gel medium with perhaps mica in it. So the other things that I found that might work are a little bit of vellum. I have that with the, I got a stamp at the thrift store and I wanted to know what it looked like, so I had to play with it. I really like that stamp. Kind of goes with the blue that's back there, but I think that might be too busy. Music paper might work. Or just coffee dyed paper. I think just coffee dyed paper. And then all right. Again, trying to create. Don't talk and create at the same time. I don't know why my brain does not function to talk and create at the same time. This is a fairly big piece, but most of it is going to be covered, so probably not that worried about what it looks like. Also, if you were doing something like this and didn't want anything quite this blocky, you could rip it and make it look more distressed. But this background is pretty linear, so I think it will fit on there fairly well, as if it was actually part of what was already on there. Okay, so then I need to figure out how to get everything on here. You didn't see me stick my tongue out and roll my eyes like, oh, that's going to be an interesting little piece of, yeah. move all of this out of the way and put that about there, like so. The other thing I kind of don't like about these wildflower die cuts is how silly they are to try to get the glue on them. Like, yeah. I feel like by the time I finally get glue on the entirety of the little petally things, the first bit that I started to glue is all dried out, and I'll put it down and it won't adhere because I didn't get the glues dried. And yeah, they always seem to work, but it takes me forever to get glue on them. If you have a smart idea and a way to put glue on these things, I'd love to hear it. Somebody had once said put glue on your hand and run your die cut through the glue. I tried that once, only once. I will never do it again. And I think I had it about like so-ish maybe. Little tip for if you're gluing down something that's fragile like this, glue from a larger point out towards and kind of like smoosh the petals like flat. Don't try to like come in from the petal end. They'll all warp and twist and make silly littleness. And then I had this one kind of up here like so. This one will be easier because it's bigger. And it has, excuse my arm. And again. When I'm doing something like this, that's kind of like making a collage, I'll lay it out and get an idea of how I like it, but I don't necessarily, like I don't take a picture. Obviously I can't because my camera is my filming mechanism. But I don't glue top down so that I'm gluing exactly where I placed everything. I figure that it's all going to work out more or less the way that I wanted it to. And if it doesn't, maybe I'll move other things, or I'll, yeah, I can always change how it turns out once everything is more or less in place. Then I'm going to put that kind of behind like so, which means this has to come down first, and this is going to come underneath like so. So what I'm going to do from here, now do I want, that I can't say yet. Those two I know, so I'm going to glue the big image down partly. I printed this on that glossy photo paper that came from a thrift store. So I don't know what brand it is. I don't know. I know it's inkjet because my ink adheres to it. Beyond that, I couldn't tell you. Don't be afraid to buy photo paper at a thrift store because you can get lots for not very much. I have an idea of something I want to show you with photo paper as well. I shouldn't have glued that down. So I am going to glue that about like that. Stay. Okay, so trim that back like so, and another one of these that is so much fun to get the glue on. Oh my gosh. That little branch is so delicate. Glued to my thumb now. The other thing that's really fun about these is how to get glue on parts that you still haven't glued without getting glue all over yourself and then not being able to stick it down. I think some people use tweezers, but I need to find tweezers that I can get to function. Stop trying to buy them at the Dollar Tree. All right, get that up in there. You have to come down a little. Fussy. You're being fussy. There you go. There you go. There you go. That worked. And that little bit can go in the trash. Or on the floor when you miss the trash. Gonna glue that. And then to about there. I need to leave this open so I can get the green one underneath. Another one of these. And now you can hear my deliciously noisy furnace. The last video that I filmed, I was listening to it back, and you could hear that furnace in the background so badly. But hey, winter. Joys of winter in the interior of BC. Well, apparently we didn't get the snow. Los Angeles has our snow. New Orleans has our snow. Florida has our snow. We have no snow. Normally we do. I live by a ski hill. It's supposed to have snow. I think the ski hill has snow. But down below in our city where I live, no snow. So I want that to come up a bit like that. And again, like I said, if it's not exactly where I had envisioned it going, I'm not like, oh dear, I didn't put it where I wanted it, because there is no exactly where I wanted it. Where it goes is where it goes. I figure it's all part of the creative process, and if it doesn't work exactly the way you wanted it to, find ways to embrace that and make it into a vision that you had in your head. Like this one I hadn't even considered putting it on, but it was sitting beside me and I went, oh, I forgot about that one. And I love that green, just love this green. Oh, that's fun. Very fun. I can't imagine doing this with any other glue. The Barely Arts has that like precision tip, and they say it's not meant for gluing, but I can't imagine gluing with anything other than that if you're doing something this delicate. One of my favorite things to do is layer dies over top of, like die cuts over top of other die cuts, so that like leaves cover other things, so you get dimensionality. So one thing looks further forward than another thing. I love doing that. Oh, I like that on there too. I often do that when I'm, you can tell if you look at my craft room at all. When I'm doing things like die cutting, it's almost like I get carried away and I like just stand there at my die cutting machine and cut flowers or whatever it is that I'm cutting. I just cut like 112 of them, because why would you only want one? And then but it gives you lots of options if you do that. Like if you cut lots and lots of them, then you're like, you can put more on or less on, or yeah. I think that was what I was trying to say. Come back here. One of the things I like about these wildflower dies is because the stem is so thin and fragile, you can maneuver it and make it kind of go where you want it to go, or somewhere other than you were thinking it went. Just like manipulate it a little bit. I really want another green one. Pardon the noise. I am just going to see. Like I said, yeah, I do have a tendency to get carried away when I'm doing things like die cuts. This is not from that magazine, but it does match. These are little pieces of their paper that came from Dollar Tree in little packs. Ooh. Slightly different blue. No, that's too brown. That one looks like it died. Don't know why the stem of that is so fragile. That one is not from the Tim Holtz dies. That one would be from the set that I got off Amazon. Ew. Can you tell I really like this one? Yeah, I like that. This one here, the paper came from one of those paper pads. I think it's actually wallpaper. Super light. Like, it's not, if it's wallpaper, it's not very thick wallpaper. Okay, so now lace. One little bit of lace. After I try to get my die cuts, maybe not. I'll do my die cuts later. Now, I have all kinds of lace in here. Like, all kinds of lace. Could do something like that. do like that. That would work. It's not very vintage, but it is brown-ish. Where is that? I had that one that I used a little bit of it when I did the dyeing experiment. Would like that one too. And then these are all the ones that I coffee dyed recently, or not coffee dyed, did the dyeing with the GAC 900 and oxide inks. I don't like that one because it's too yellow. That one will be too red. That one's too pink. That's the one I was thinking of. Yeah, I like that one. Mostly because that's the one I was thinking of. And now my little bin of lace, it's held together with the lid. Everything is in there because I tell it has to stay. Like I put the lid on it kind of like this and like this and hold everything in and then just shut the lid and I go, stay, stay. I don't know if anybody else is like me and talks to inanimate objects. Yeah. And I kind of almost wrecked my Fabri-Tac. It was frustrating me because it wouldn't come out. And I just was so mad at it that I cut the top off. Now it comes out. But the lid doesn't stay on. And it's going to dry out in a big hurry. But it comes out of the bottle. See, like, look, Fabri-Tac, instead of like me squeezing the Fabri-Tac until I think it's like gonna drive me nuts, and then boom, hey. The only problem is before it came out in like a little tiny bit, the thinnest little line of Fabri-Tac would take me half an hour to get enough to do anything. But it was like a thin amount. Now it gushes. Another problem. Let's use that. Put the lid back on. Yeah, saran wrap for a lid. And then try to get a little bit of extra glue on there. Ah, Yes. I like that. I like that. Okay, so give me a minute. I'll clean my desk and I'll show you the finished product. All right, so that's what it looks like. I might put more lace down here, or another something in the corner here, but that's a start. And I'm the kind of person that normally I do my cover before I do the signatures, mostly because how I embellish and what I put inside my journal is kind of determined a little bit by what the cover looks like when I'm finished, or kind of sort of more or less finished. So these are the two signatures we did the last time, and they will go in here like this. Looks like it might be a little bit gappy even to begin with, but that's because that spine is only maybe 3/4 of an inch deep, which isn't very much. I mean, it's almost so shallow that that would be better as a single signature, but that doesn't give you a very big journal. Also, realistically, I did add more pages, which bulks it up a little bit. So I could thin it out as well and do two signatures and make each signature a little bit less. But I don't know. I think I'll just stuff it in there and, yeah, just stuff it in there. And now I have to determine, I think that spine is, because that's chipboard there, it's pretty heavy weight. So I'm not going to be able to sew through the chipboard and do two signatures that way. So I will have to do a hidden spine, and that's how wide it has to be, is as wide as that chipboard. So that's a pretty narrow little spine for two signatures. Yeah, I might, like I said, I really might have to logically go down to a single signature. But I will come back next time, and we'll work on signatures together and probably do some decorating. Until next time, I hope you have a lovely crafty day. Bye!